This is Low Growl, the deepest voice in ASMR. Welcome back to another video, and tonight on this delightful evening, I'd like to talk to you about the Titan Mentorship Program. Now, many of my older subs, y'all already know about the program, but I've been quite busy, so I wanted to just bring it back up, especially since we got all these new folks, and I want y'all to know about what it is and what I do and what I describe as the most fulfilling work that I do in my life. Besides being a father and husband, this is the most fulfilling work that I do for personal satisfaction. So the Titan Mentorship Program, it all started, and I'll be brief with this part, but when I used to be a business teacher in middle school. I taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, 300 plus students, 12 classes, and when I was at this school, they had a young men's mentorship program led by another gentleman that I was cool with, but he ended up going on to another school. When he left, there was a void, and the young men needed somebody. So the counselors at the school, they approached me and they asked, "Hey, you gonna take over Rise?" That was the name of the program. "You gonna take Rise over?" I was like, "Nah," and I said no because I was already I had already took on an additional task, which was the bus, like the bus duty type of deal, where I had to be there early. I had to be there earlier than everybody else to, when the buses were coming in, I would make sure that everybody was parked where they needed to be, and I was working in coordination with the office where I, tell them, okay, 6th grade is coming in, 7th grade is coming in, 8th grade is coming in. I would break up fights. I wasn't even security, but I'd break up fights, take any reports, or deal with any complaints from students and bus drivers and all that type of thing. Just make sure it was a smooth, safe transition from the bus to the school. All right. Same thing after school. I had to coordinate the dismissal of the students to the buses, make sure everybody was in place, and just kind of keep everybody up to date what was happening on the ground outside. So back to the story. The principal came to me, asked me, "Hey, you gonna do Rise?" "No, I'm not gonna do Rise." It was only when the young men themselves came to me and asked me, "Hey, you gonna do Rise this year?" And I was like, all right, well, if they're asking me and they're the ones I'm gonna be serving, yeah, I'll do it. So I got, I let the principal know I was going to take it over. Everybody's excited. Okay. So in preparation for my first meeting, I called the administration building where the individual that was over the Rise program, this is where he worked. And I called to reach out to see if I had, if there was any type of material for me to work from, because I already had to do lesson plans for all these students. So I was like, all right, maybe there's something there. There wasn't anything there, and they gave me this blank journal. All it had on the front was Rise, like the logo, but it was an empty journal. So after that happened, I was like, all right, so I got to come up with lesson plans for the group. Okay, it is what it is. I end up deciding to just write a whole curriculum, and long story short, I wrote the curriculum, administration approved it. I didn't sell it to them, but I made the resource available, and then they have it now, and they're using it throughout the district for the Young Men's Program at a bunch of different schools. Now, go from that to currently, and I have taken the curriculum, and I meant to get one of the books so I could show you what it looks like, but I got it all made and ready and everything and approved for use in the schools and all the details. And then I had talked with a friend and my brother, and they kind of opened my eyes to the fact that it could be more than just a resource for sale, and that I should make it into an actual program. So I was like, okay, I will consider these things. So after a little bit of consideration, I started developing a facilitator's guide so that I would, could take it to that next level of an actual program. Did that, and then I took it to the next step. And I recently, I would say within the last 6 months, I became an official nonprofit 501c3 organization. Now I can, apply for grants and different things to actually make it into a legitimate program and kind of fulfill the big dream that I have for what I know this thing can become. Now, we'll talk about what's happening currently. Currently, I'm working with an organization called CUTS, which stands for Cleaning Up the Streets. It's a youth employment program where they focus on engaging with the young men, but preparing them with job skills, trade skills, and other things to prepare them for life after high school. So we also do, team building and engagement, community service. That's like kind of their focus. My focus is personal development. So I met the guy through a mutual friend. We had this photo shoot featuring local mentors, local male mentors that had their own programs, and we all specialized in like different things. There was about 5 of us, and at this photo shoot, I met this other man. So he saw my material there, and he just was like, "Man, let me get your number, cause I need this." So we met up, talked about it, went through the book a little bit, told him what I was doing and stuff, and he agreed, to contract me to work with his program. So I end up over there, and the way it kind of worked was he started his new year in his new building. It was his first year having this new building. We started off, I'm in the classroom with the boys for, it ended up being 20 plus weeks, but we focus on the foundational things of soft skills, interpersonal skills, emotional and mental maturity and control, handshakes, body language, interviewing skills, grooming, hygiene, the importance of mental and physical strength, self-confidence, communication skills. It's a whole slew of things that I cover in my material. And that sets them up so that when the job opportunities and the things we get into on the trade side, it'll kind of prepare you for those environments. So it was a really good 1-2 punch, and he was lacking the portion that I brought. So I did my thing, and I go over there Monday through Thursday, and I mentor a group. So last year we had 40 boys. We had 10, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 boys apiece. And then on Saturday we get together as a whole, and we do an activity together. It could be somebody coming in to speak about financial literacy. It could be like first aid training, or it could be us going out and doing an actual outing. So we've adopted a road, and we go out there and we pick up trash and literally clean up the streets. And then sometimes I'll actually do a weekend where we kind of just review a little bit and we talk about stuff, but I make it interactive. We do during the week, we do like the curriculum chapter by chapter, but we also do like role play scenarios, acting out and figuring out practical ways to apply these principles to your life. So, Lord, what was that? So that being said, fast forward to this year, and the count has gone up to 50 boys. So it's 12 kids. It's a little over 50 actually, but it's 12 guys a day. I'm going back over there Monday through Thursday with the Saturday activities. But the way my day goes is I wake up at 4:30, go to work, I leave work, go over to that side of the water. We start at 5, finish up about 6:30 or 7, get back on the interstate. Got to fight the traffic to get back over on my side. So I get home around usually between 7 and 8 o'clock, 8:30 on a late night, or if it's traffic, bad traffic. And I do that Monday through Thursday, and then I go in again on Saturday. So I really value my Fridays and my weekends. So that's what I do. But then something happened. I was invited to join the actual staff of CUTS because I brought such professionalism and knowledge and experience from being a teacher and being a youth minister and all these different things I've done working with kids, that he invited me to like actually be on staff. So that was additional money coming my way, and I was like, I really don't have to change much of what I'm doing, just a couple of additional little things. But even it includes like training the staff there to help them be more professional and know how to, deal with managing groups, dealing with conflict, and, just how to lead and guide things, what to do in emergency situations, how to protect yourself, your kids, putting up those boundaries and, not showing favoritism, all that type of good stuff. So things are like going really good. And like I said, now I'm an official 501c3, and my goals are grand. They are very grand. But I can admit that having worked, this being my second year working with Cuts, last year was their first time being in their own space. I'm not quite ready for that yet. One, because I don't have a team. Right now it's just myself going and facilitating and doing this. But to have a building and everything, you need a team and people you trust that have the same passion about the kind of work we're doing, because there excuse me, there are a lot of people that they support mentorship for young men and things, and they believe that troubled young men should they need support from other men to show them the way. However, when it comes to boots on the ground, my boss said my job, he hates that term. Sounds so stereotypical, or just not stereotypical, but it's just like cliche. But anyway, people that really want to put in the work and interact with the guys, those are few and far between. But I have a passion for it, so I do it. And it's the most fulfilling work I've ever done. Besides parenting and being a husband, this is the most fulfilling work I've ever done. And it's been that way. So I have a heart for the work, and I do the work, and I build those personal relationships with the guys, and that's what they really need. And there's been some really cool moments that have happened over the year. My plan is I want to have my own building. I got some grants I'm looking at applying for, because even if I don't have my own place, I still want to be able to support or sponsor some activities and like pay for young men to do things that they might not have been able to do before, some community events, things that have to do with health and fitness, and just be a presence in my community and give back and make a difference, especially for young men. I believe there's a lot of resources out there for young ladies, but I think our young men kind of get cut short sometimes. And I just want to contribute. So I've written down my vision, what I want for my building and everything like that. I've talked to people about, where I could go, renting a space, all that type of thing. But I'm not quite there yet. I still need to vet a team that I would want to actually have connected with me, to have the passion to do what needs to be done. What else? I'll tell you about a couple of cool things that have happened, and then I'll wrap up the video. I don't want to go on too long, but just consider this one of those videos that you can come back to and try to see if you can hear the whole story before you fall asleep or something like that. But man, some of these young guys, I've gotten to know pretty good, and it's interesting. It's very satisfying to see them come to that realization, and some just clicks in their mind, and they're like, man, I really like photography, or I really want to stream, or I really want to weld, or I really want to do this, or it's like they figure out, they had that moment where they realize, I really am passionate about this, but how do I get started? I want to help them to reach their dreams, and I've been able to invest in some of these guys just out of my pocket, just helping them get the equipment and the tools they need so they can get started, at least dabbling in what they're talking about they want to do, and then just giving them, I guess, I help them with the physical resources, but I also tell them about research and where they can go to find some of the things they need, or I'll do some research on my own and come back and offer that information to them. It's been really great so far, and I can be a lot more detailed with what's going on. But again, it's YouTube. People's patience is not what it used to be. Hopefully you've gotten to this point in the video. If you have, I appreciate it. But yeah, just pray for me. I'm not going to ask you to purchase anything. I don't, I'm just giving out information and telling you a little bit more about what I do in my spare time to try to just make this world a better place, besides, helping people get sleep through ASMR. So that's all I have for now. If you got any questions about anything, just let me know down in the comment section. And I hope you have a great night. Get you some rest. Take care of yourself and find a way that you can give back to your community and make a difference in the lives of others. All right. I appreciate you watching. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.